Well, hello there. We're back. Episode 3 of A to Z with me, Belgian Productions. So today we'll be playing as Argentina, and for Argentina I've decided to use the first mod in this series, and it's a good one. It came highly recommended in Unión y Libertad, and I am gonna see just, well, how it performs. Now this mod focuses on the Latin American, the South American parts. Big focus trees, mechanics, events, the whole shebang. But for Argentina, we're gonna keep it simple. Iron Man with historical AI focuses. Let's go. First off, let me show you this new focus tree for Argentina. Okay, I like the portrait. This is one heckin' thick boy. One very impressive focus tree. I'm looking at this and I think this is the historical path, because I remember that guy Perón, he's supposed to be the historical leader eventually. I did reach out to the mod creator and asked for some advice on what to play as Argentina, and he said, and a lot of other people did as well, we have to play this path, the Confederation. It's the fascist path. I know I'm on a bit of a fascism binge here for this campaign. I promise. I won't always play fascism. I promise. It's just people have told me this was just the most interesting path. So I think we'll do that. And it looks like we'll be in civil war soon. So something to do. Let's take a look at the rest. Of course, industry is always good. Research is always good. Let's just ease into things. Just ease into things. Production. I know I'll need a lot of guns because, again, civil war. And production of ships. I could use convoys, but if I'm gonna take stuff from the British, I'll need ships. So the main goal of this campaign will be not just to have fun, if that's even possible with Hearts of Iron, but to reclaim the Falkland Island, or Las Malvinas, as well as South Georgia. Fun fact, we have claims on these two islands, and I think we do so in the base game as well. And while we're doing that, or before we do that, I would like to also dominate the entire continent of South America, maybe even North America. We'll see. Let's start things slow and, well, let's have a civil war. Apparently that's just what you do in Latin America. The army, of course, will have to be renamed. We'll just reposition them here for a little bit so we can train them up a little bit. And I will be renaming all of my divisions to the members. Of course, each and every one of you who has contributed to the channel will have their name added to divisions in the field and in training. Of course, I need to do that manually because the mod doesn't seem to work. You know what? If we're going into a civil war anyway, I'm just gonna delete these units. There we go. And then I'll train new ones. At least this way. It works. You see? You see? It works. You guys are gonna get your names here. Of course, I'll need factories, but we are still on civilian, so that's not really a point to it. Let's just start with a little bit of infrastructure to get our steel up and to get our tungsten up. Always good to start with a little bit of infrastructure if you're still on civilian economy. I think that's it. I think we're good to go. If you're wondering why I'm still producing airplanes, I think it's a good idea to just have a basic air force early on if you have the potential. If you are a nation that has an industrial capacity for air, which Argentina will, I want to start my air force so I can easily dominate my neighbors. I think most of these guys are going to be easy. Brazil might be a bit of a pickle to crack, but air will help, so I'm building some air. Oh, apparently we still need to core some of our territories. They're not considered provinces yet. You won't want to spend political power on that, because I might need political power elsewhere because there are civil war mechanics. Also, I forgot to touch on this, but Argentina, not in a good place. Let's see, the Monroe Doctrine. Economic depression, just like real depression, not great. People don't like coup d'etats, and we've had quite a few apparently, and this is not good. High inflation risk, I can agree, that's inflation bad, yes. And rampant corruption, yep, this is pretty much par of the course for Latin America, I think. And then this one we did to ourselves. All right, so Argentina might need a kick in the pants to get going. Our new army is coming along nicely, though. If we're going to have a civil war, these are probably gonna be cut in half. I will have to fight my own members. Do I want to fight my own members? I don't think I do. I'd rather keep the guns. Actually, no. Let's see if that civil war trick still works. Just have one in reserve that is not deployed. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. So I'm building up support for my civil war. Now, one thing I would like to touch on is if your plan is to have a civil war, your plan sucks. Your plan should be to have a coup d'etat, to seize control of the government and the nation in a short and hopefully effective campaign. Not even a campaign, just like snap your fingers, kill everybody who needs to be killed, take control of whatever needs to be taken control of, and there you go. You're now in charge. If your plan is to have a civil war, you're already screwing up day one. That's the point. That's what you want to avoid when you plan your coup. You know, basic stuff, right? You all want to build mills faster. Oh, this is good. These are good bonuses. This is also good. 8% consumer goods. Oh, these are both pretty good, I think. I think I want to go with the top one. Since it's limited in time, I think I want the top one. If it were permanent, I'd probably get the bottom option. All right, we have everybody's support. Now just the high command and we can get things going. I hope it's not a problem that I've just disbanded my entire army. I just didn't want to fight my own guys, you know? The members, I don't want to kill you guys. If anyone has played this before, let me know if I would actually want to do this, because it seems expensive for no immediate obvious gain. I don't think I want to take any of these options though. No, let's just hoard political power for now. Now this is going to be fun. Yay, Civil War! Woo! Okay, so just as I expected, we have a free army. They're probably not great units, but they are units. Let's reorganize. I can also deploy this guy here. All right, so I have some infantry, and I can queue up a little more, though not a lot. Now, I'm thinking my goal here will be to take control of supply hubs and link railway networks again, and of course, seize Buenos Aires if I can, as soon as possible. As for focuses, this is still locked until we've won, so we can't really continue. I could get some army stuff here. This looks good. Quality does look nice. Make my divisions a lot better than the enemy divisions. Or I could go here and try and fix my economy. I do like having an economy that isn't this. This is not a great economy. So let's just maybe fix the economy. My units are already better than what the enemy has, simply because I'm the one in charge. Let's also get some guns, because let's buy Italian, German, or Japanese guns. Any guns will do. Let's start this campaign. Speed is going to be of the essence, but just a little unlucky with where everyone deployed here, so no guarantees of success. We'll give it a good shot. We'll give it a good try. If we can get any encirclements in early, that already gives us an edge. I wonder what kind of divisions we're fielding. So I think most of these are Federales. Oh Jesus, that's garbage. And Division Infanterie. Like, both of these are not great, but I guess we can make it work. Maneuver warfare at its finest. This is gonna be the only thing I can do. Outmaneuver the enemy, destroy divisions, create gaps in the line that way, and just keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward. One thing I have noticed, and that's going to be our main advantage for this entire little civil war here, is look at the strength bars. My units aren't fully equipped. Not even a little, but they are significantly more equipped than whatever the enemy has, so probably outperform them long term. They cannot replace those casualties. All right, focus on the economy. Let's grab a military factory here and then some economic stuff from there. The economy isn't going to win this war because it's non-existent for both sides, but what it might help us do is just eke out the edge we need to get this over with quickly. I don't want to draw this out because it will just end up weakening us. Because fun fact, civil wars aren't great for anyone. All right, 4 more divisions. Go, go, go. These are the first batch of the members. Make me proud, boys. All right, during the civil war, we have a couple of bonuses we can activate whenever we have the command power. Do I want more defense, more attack, more org, or more speed? Usually I want speed or attack. So in this case, let's pick attack to help us break through where we want to. And of course, I want to keep buying guns as soon as I can. Oh, we barely get any political power. Yeah, this country is quite the mess. Let's see if I can force my way into Buenos Aires. Looks like I can. I've concentrated most of my firepower in the member divisions. Well, firepower is just an infantry block on this one province. Might be able to push through if they can't reinforce it. Oh, I need to rename some of you guys. The first member army is taking shape, and they are already my most effective fighting force. And just like that, we have stormed the outskirts of Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires itself is surrounded. I can easily walk in there. Now it's just a bit of a cleanup operation, I think. Just to fend off the counterattack, and I can keep pushing. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Should I make it the capital or keep Parana, but whatever. Nah, Buenos Aires seems like a good idea. And through a little bit of maneuvering, we should be able to crack everything here wide open. All right, so we've beefed up our troop quality. I don't think I want any of the research bonuses yet. They won't matter for the initial stages of the campaign. Let's look towards the industry again. I could mobilize, but I'm not building anything right now, so that's pointless. Fresh infrastructure would be nice. Stability, development. I just get factories, get bonuses, get my economy out of the gutter, because this is all bad. And snake, snake, snake. I just want this civil war to be over so I can start rebuilding this country. I'll be honest, I kind of expected the AI to redeploy some of its troops to stop my wild rampage in the south, but they haven't, annoyingly. Because it would be nice if they did, since I need Mendoza. It's 5 victory points. Well, if conventional warfare isn't going to do it, absurd levels of snaking will. Oh, for the love of God, 98%. I don't think they have any more victory points. I've walked into every single one of them, except for San Luis and Mendoza. I'm going to have to walk all the way to Mendoza. No, they got troops into Mendoza before I could march in. Well, I'll just take San Luis. Okay, so that was certainly spicy. Not in the greatest state, I'd say. But we can now rebuild. All right, let's rejigger our production. I want some artillery. I want some infantry equipment. I also definitely want better infantry equipment. I'll need to start work on support equipment so we can get the basics out. We have our navy back. That's good. It's not a massive navy, but 17 ships and 2 battleships. It should be able to help us overwhelm places like Uruguay. Let's also improve these airplanes. I mean, they're not great. They're still interwar, but we can make them a little bit better, I guess. I'll put my army experience to use as well. So I got state service the military for more political power gain and political loyalty. That'll help our stability, even if it's not much. Argentina, 1930s, not a very stable country, it seems. Confederation established. What do I do with the militia? Disband them? Yeah, they're not great templates. I'll just disband them and train my own troops. Maybe that's a lot of equipment I'm suddenly getting. Yes. So train my own troops. And now let's work on the inflation. Or rather, let's work on getting rid of the inflation. I want to push this down to very minimal inflation. Also, let's slow down the inflation. Having 4 research slots as a Latin American country, pretty powerful. Pretty powerful. This gets rid of our very terrible economic law, which is this one. The Roca-Runciman Treaty does not look like something I want to keep around. So I think I'm going to get rid of it. Let's start improving these divisions a little bit. I've added artillery. Next step is going to be engineers. Slowly but surely, we'll turn these into competent divisions. Also going to add the production of some anti-air as well. Something like that. And then I'll need CAS again. I need so much. But we are militarizing now, so military factories from now on. The country should start pulling itself together as I work my way through this. I'd like to go to war economy, but I think we're too corrupt for that. It looks very expensive. But we should be able to fix that soon, and when the corruption's gone, I can go to war economy at last. 5 research slots. I don't even know what to research. Maybe navy? Oh, go for carriers. It will be so incredibly stupid, but if it would be funny. Carriers. Cruisers, destroyers. A winning team if I'm gonna go up against the UK. Yay! We're no longer as corrupt as we were before, so war economy it is, and we can keep going. Should have had a chief of the navy as well. Usually a good idea if I'm gonna play navy stuff. Alright, with the depression fixed and this country on its way to greatness, Nimio can now turn to more important matters, namely crushing small insignificant neighbors. Let's prepare for the annexation of Uruguay, which does seem to be event driven, so I hope we don't screw it up. Right, now we influence Uruguayan politics. This essentially allows us to prepare for collaboration and shenanigans. Does look like we need them to accept, so I don't know what the AI is going to do, and if they don't accept, I won't be able to proceed unless this can be bypassed when we annex them, I guess. They allow us to influence their politics. Great. That means we can launch the coup soon. Can we? Is there a button that allows me to launch a coup? Let's launch a coup in Uruguay and kick things off. At least get some spicy things happening here. It's been a while. I need to start making this interesting again. Curious what this actually does. Oh. So that's what it does. Well, I guess I'll be helping these guys out. Can send 4 divisions. You know, something tells me they didn't really need my help anyway, but hey, while I'm here. There we go. The new constitutional Uruguay is in charge, and we're gonna just annex it straight up. Because we can. First batch of land added to the collection, and we can keep going. I've researched carriers, so we're gonna go for a carrier fleet. I'm also gonna get some better cruisers to supplement that fleet. I will need to build, of course, dockyards, so we can build more ships if I'm ever going to challenge the UK. Let's finish up that destroyer, and then we'll start work on our first carrier. It's gonna be a magnificent specimen, just nothing but hangars. Whoops, looks like I've accidentally eaten Uruguay Uruguay. Okay. Now for the fun parts. This unlocks prepare the army, and that leads down here to integrate Patagonia so we can eat Chile. I can demand Santa Catarina from Brazil. I can demand Tarija from Bolivia. I can demand the Falklands and South Georgia, but apparently I'll need more manpower in the field for this to really have a good chance. So let's start working towards the annexation of Chile. You know, so we can proclaim the Greater Argentine Confederation and then onto more war goals. Oh boy, there's so much to do here. We're getting powerful. What? Well, okay then. Apparently Brazil decided to just declare war. That is unfortunate. I was not ready for that. I've also inherited these templates from Uruguay, and they're all terrible, and I can't disband them. I hate it when mods or just the game in general gives you divisions that you cannot get rid of because they are effectively useless. They're always terrible templates. I'm just gonna set up a usual front line here, and I'm gonna start naval invading. I think the easiest way to Brazil's heart is naval invasions. I think my fleet's probably bigger than theirs, so we'll just start taking them out with naval invasions once we get everybody into position. You guys, yeah, set up in Montevideo for now. Can I launch naval invasions? I think I have the tech somewhere. Yeah, all right. We'll start planning some naval invasions to get that done. And if Brazil isn't going to contest their victory points, or well, their supply hubs on the border, I'm just gonna take them. So it's not a good idea to just push in here, I think. But if there's no Brazilian troops here, I'm gonna take all the land I can get. I expect them to be significantly weaker than myself. And I'm gonna launch naval invasions along their ports and just cut them down to size slowly. Bit by bit, carve them apart. Yeah, Brazilians are outclassed in every front. On the air, at sea, and on land. This is over before it began. I don't really understand why they felt the need to declare war. They cannot win this. Why even fight me over this? Anyway, construction, yeah, militarization well underway, and we've made our naval invasion, and see if we can cut them off. We can link up there and just try to cut across here so we can effectively cut off the entire Brazilian front. That won't mean they can't link up with their troops back home, and if they can't link back up, there's nothing they can do to stop me. Now, second naval invasion near Sao Paulo. That is another large victory point we can take away. I'm really trying hard to just cut off the Brazilian army. Come on! There's so many of these guys here. Just trap them. One more tile. And we've probably got the majority. Yes! That's like 10 divisions. That's 12 divisions cut off out of the, at most, 39 they have. So, good portion of their army is going to be deleted here. Just to clean up the pockets and move north. Speaking of move north, yeah, we got Sao Paulo. And, yep, that is most of the Brazilian army deleted. And we continue our inexorable march north. I don't think they'll have that much to oppose us. Oh, look, my troops have made it to Rio de Janeiro. Brazil is halfway to capitulation. Cost me almost 8,000 men. I think it's clear who the dominant power in Latin America is in this timeline. Quite clear. Let's try another naval invasion somewhere to the north here. Recife, I think. 10 victory points, sure. I just want this war to be over in a quick and decisive manner. I just want to get the bonuses here. This small little subtree disappears when the war ends, and this is where I find a free war goal on Paraguay. Kind of want to eat Paraguay. All right, I'll go grab my little war goal on Paraguay. Meanwhile, pushing up very, very hard. I should probably train a couple more divisions, but I'm short on equipment, which is annoying. All right, got the war goal that I could use at any time. Do I want to mess with the Bolivians? I'm not sure Bolivia is going to handle that well. Let's just prepare the navy first. And there goes Brazil. They brought this on themselves. Let's just take their navy and annex the country. This is going to be very expensive in terms of manpower required for garrisons. I am very much aware I would probably have been better off doing some puppeting shenanigans, but I didn't want to. I am going to make this country the greatest country in Latin America, and by God, I'm willing to pay for it in occupation cost if I must. And now we go to war Paraguay. Very unlikely that they have anything that can stop me, so just walk in there and destroy them. Another problem solved. Glorious. Glorious, glorious. Let's just set up on Bolivia next. I think Bolivia is going to be the next target if they don't give me what I want. Next step. Chile. Shouldn't be too difficult. All right, they caved in. Well, would have liked to eat all of Bolivia, but I'll do that later. I wonder how difficult Chile is going to be to invade. Because the Andes Mountains are annoying, but Chile is also very thin, so there's not a whole lot of room for them to maneuver. All right, let's integrate Patagonia. Bye-bye. There goes Chile. They shouldn't have that much to fight me off with. And now I can either demand South Georgia or the Falklands. I don't know what the UK is going to do. It says the more manpower I have in the field, the higher the chance they will accept. So maybe I should just train a couple more divisions to have like an army group, and until that's done, focus on other things here. I can still develop things. I can still improve the country. The better this country becomes, the better I am in the long run anyway. I focus on some navy stuff. This unlocks a pretty good designer. Or should I focus on dockyards? I don't know what to focus on. God, I want to do all of the things, and I don't know how to proceed. First order of business is just to eat Chile, which is definitely not going to be hard. Yeah, not hard at all. Let's just take the Chilean Navy and take all of Chile, submit demands. Argentine Confederation looking spicy. Very spicy. Argentine Navy also looking spicy. I'm loving this. I'm really loving this. I'll start by demanding the Falklands. That's the big one. Shockingly, they've decided to just hand them over. Well, in that case, Las Malvinas are ours. Islas Malvinas. Puerto Argentino. There we go. Now, we just need to take the rest of the subcontinent. Okay. Might just also want to get involved in Europe, though, if this goes too easily. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so they just keep giving me stuff. That's great. So now I also have South Georgia. But while we're asking for things, how about we go a step further? I can also ask for St. Helena and Ascension. If you don't ask, you'll never get them, so might as well try. So I think that's St. Helena, and that's Ascension. Well, if they're gonna give it to me, I'll take it gladly. So, and if not, well, an excuse to get involved in Europe, I suppose. How about I join your faction, just because it would be incredibly funny. I'm not gonna join any wars, but I'm going to ship my entire army over to the port here near Bremen, and I'm gonna send over my entire navy as well. That should be enough to land in the UK. And the first Argentine aircraft carrier, Independencia, is done. Glorious aircraft carrier. All right, let's see what the Brits say. No way. No way. They actually just caved? Now, I'm gonna feel bad about this because I do plan on invading the UK and knocking the Allies out. That will even the way to taking these things here, where I could just consolidate the rest of the continent. I could then proclaim the Greater Argentine Confederation, move my way down here. I will need to leave the Axis before I finish this focus, because otherwise I will default into join the Germans, because I've joined the Axis, and that unlocks only Bolivia and Palatine. Well, I also want to subjugate the Peruvians to get their land. Well, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna have to do this now. It's June 1st, 1941. Japan is going to do annoying things. The Americans are going to do annoying things. I think I'm just going to answer the call to arms, join this mess, and see from there. Going to join, going to slow this down, and hopefully I can knock out the UK before things get, well, problematic. Naval invasion has not gone underway. I just need like a tick of green. Just a small smidgen. Can I get some air up over there? All right, Navy green. Green. All right, oh, I'll take your Lend-Lease, even though it's ridiculously expensive. That cost me 6 days, but we're going. Navy's on their way. The Marines will storm the beaches. The rest of you guys head over there, and then I can ship you across when I want to. The Air Force is grounded until further notice. God, I love how I got an aircraft carrier. As Argentina. It's actually a pretty sizable navy we managed to cobble together. All right, so the ports are guarded, but we may yet be able to blitz past. I don't think they've managed to intercept any of my troops. That means I have a good shot at this. Yeah, we'll probably take the port of Hull, and then we just need to keep moving. Defeat the UK before the Americans join the war. That is going to be the challenge here. Speed is essential. I may or may not have forgotten about this front, and as a result, it's all collapsing. I was building a supply hub, but that was in this one tile that was just captured by the enemy, annoyingly. As a result, I no longer have a supply hub being constructed there. So this front, it's annoying, but it's a little sideshow. It's a distraction for allied troops. This is where the real meat and potatoes of the campaign lie now. We have to push. Destroy the enemy. Take as much local supply and victory points as we can. I have enough divisions here to defeat them. I have the troops I need to win. 24 divisions is plenty to end the UK. As long as I do it quickly. Should also send over my limited air force. The people of Latin America will have their vengeance. The colonizers will be destroyed. London is captured. And the UK is defeated before anyone else joins. We might actually just get something out of this. I wish I had a little bit more contribution, but I cannot afford to draw this out simply because the USA is so close to joining. Not bad. Took a month to destroy the UK. And Bing Pot. Allies defeated. Let's first go grab the land I really want. This stuff. This is stuff I really want. Maybe some stuff up there while I'm here? Anything else in the area I'd like? No. Alright, so I got pretty much everything I wanted out of this. I forgot to take Curaçao, and they're now a German puppet. But other than that, I got the colonial holdings in Guyana. I got some islands in the Bahamas. I got a ridiculously sized navy now with a whole lot of battleships and aircraft carriers, which is nice. And, well, we generally humiliated the United Kingdom, which is always a good plan. I think we've wiped the Allies off the map, so all that's left to do is eat the rest of Latin America and use up these war goals until we can finally attack at the source, the United States of America. Let's bring all the boys home while we wait. I'm incredibly amused by how well that went, if I'm honest. Yeah, I'm not going to get involved against the Soviets. Oh, and Japan has just declared war on the Philippines. Bit late. Good. Let's just bypass the create our own access thing. Can bypass the Brazilian thing. And now let's start by eating Bolivia. I think Bolivia has survived for long enough. You know what? I'm just going to leave the faction for now. I can always do more later. Bolivian army is larger than I had anticipated. They're still not going to stand a chance. It really does feel like I'm just bullying my neighbors, which does make for a enjoyable experience. Not extremely challenging though. Yep, I think we're bullying Peru next, if I'm not mistaken, so get everybody into position. All right, let's just delete Peru. I don't think anybody's gonna join them. Yes, Peru, congratulations, you're pushing into the Amazon. Meanwhile, I'm right outside Lima, so win some, lose some, and there goes Peru. Ooh, Peruvian Navy. Yes, please. So the easiest way to push past here is take this supply hub here in Bolivar, plug that into your network so you actually have supply in the region. Again, this is awful. This is all mountains, jungles, very low infrastructure. So take what infrastructure is there and keep attacking. Once you've taken that supply hub, it's the Venezuelans actually who will be struggling. And again, you can see, just pushing. I mean, there's really nothing they can do to us. We keep getting war goals. War goals, war goals, war goals. Ooh, I can integrate a whole lot of things as long as I can get compliance. Juicy. I will need to get compliance though. Let's just shift over to local police force. That might actually get me some compliance. And Venezuela consumed. Oh, they don't even have a navy. Right, where else can I go? I can eat Colombia. I can eat Ecuador. Who do we eat first? Let's take small bite-sized Ecuador and then I can surround Colombia after. Because again, the AI is just not that good and my army is just way better. I've just gone around the Bolivian army. And yep, there's Bolivia. Let's just take on Colombia next, and then I can start eating those really tiny countries here. And goodbye, Colombia. We hardly knew thee. As long as the Americans don't join this out of the blue, I'm fine. Is Colombia? Oh, they even have some ships for me. How nice. All right, so that is actually all of South America done, except for Curaçao, Panama. Well, I guess we're pushing past then. Naval invasions it is. I'm going to be spending so much time building railways. It's unreal. The infrastructure in this continent it might as well not exist. It's so bad. Also integrating a whole lot of provinces. That's really great. More cores means more industry, more manpower, more everything. Yeah, and I think the reason why everybody recommended I play this is just because it's so strong. Yeah, Panama doesn't have an army, so thanks. And we keep declaring wars. I mean, just knocking them down. I feel a little bad for all these tiny countries that there's just a juggernaut rolling in from the south, and there is absolutely nothing they can do to stop me. And trying to make Guatemala disappear. Means I border Mexico. Should get the Mexican war goal next. Alrighty, we can now declare war on Mexico. Get rid of the Mexicans. Wonder if they have anything to stop me. No. No, they most certainly do not. Oh no. Oh no. Problem. The USA just joined. Fine, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it now. The United States is in. I could could join the Japanese faction if I wanted to. No. Oh god, the Americans are already here in force. Oh, I screwed this up so bad. Okay, I can deploy units. One full army. Is it gonna be enough to stem this tide, though? The second full army here. Okay, it doesn't look like they have a whole lot here, so okay. We might be able to drive them back to Trinidad and then push them into the channel. But it does look like I can take Port of Spain and then... Yeah, alright, so that problem here is resolved. I'll leave these guys behind as some sort of quick reaction force until I can safely ship them across. And as soon as the Panama Canal is opened once again, my navy can slip through and hopefully secure my ports. Guard my backside, if you will. I'm training up a whole bunch of port guards. Let's just force deploy all 50 of these guys. All you guys will have to do is, well, guard my ports. Fortunately, my elite mountaineers are forging through. Again, the members are making this whole thing possible. I really do think I might be in a little bit over my head. And without tanks to break through, it's going to be incredibly difficult. Fortunately, the Mexicans are almost gone, but so many Americans here. You know what? I'm just going to join the Japanese faction. Don't even care anymore. No, I don't want Japan to get what I've earned. No. Funnily enough, my navy is enough to secure dominance on the seas, even this close to the USA. As a result, I've cleaned up most of the Caribbean area, except for the Leeward Islands and the French Caribbean. I'll solve that with a couple more naval invasions. I'm planning to hit Florida. I think that's going to cause a significant distraction for the US forces currently in Mexico. And even in Mexico, I'm still able to advance if I concentrate enough units on a single tile. I can force my way through because, well, most of these divisions really aren't that good. Even the US ones, their stats just not really up there. Plus, I have the air advantage. Amazingly, I don't know how, but I have the air advantage, and I plan to leverage that. So I'm afraid this is a bit of a good news, bad news situation. The good news is that these divisions are not members. The bad news is they are very likely to die. So to break the deadlock in the south, I will need to employ my mountaineers and just concentrate forces very well. Plus, well, I'll eventually grind my way through. It's just a matter of whether or not that's worth the cost of the units. And I will be able to make landings here, but I won't be able to use my standard divisions for this. I think I need to start getting some Marines, concentrate on some vital ports, maybe instead try landing up here near Washington. It's a little further away from the front. Maybe AI doesn't really see it as a threat. Plus, I think it's not a bad idea if we start producing some mechanized equipment. Start using mech as a replacement for trucks and get a shock unit of mechanized that has a bit more hardness. All right, let's give this another go. I've put up 1,000 casts over Florida. I've organized my units. I've got the Navy in position. We're gonna give this another try. If that doesn't work, I'm just going to focus my efforts on just punching through the underbelly of the US. Once we get past these mountains, we'll be fine. It's just the mountains are horrible. More horrible for the enemy though, because I'm still at roughly 500,000 casualties, which isn't great, but American casualties are just soaring. They're up to 2 million losses already. Unfortunately, there are a lot of Americans. I think they can take the damage. Oh, we might actually take the port. All right. Also deploy some spies in the region. I think we're going to take the port. No, we took the port. Okay. Means the reserves are now also committed. 17 divisions there. Everybody has to go. Everybody fights. Nobody sits this one out. All right. The first forces have made landfall. And now I need to be as fast as I can to try and cut this in half so I can at least secure Florida. Imagine trying to control Florida. All right. So we've cut them in half. Focus the majority on the north. All right, now attack south down the tip of Florida. I've launched an all-out offensive in Mexico. This isn't gonna go anywhere. I just need to tie down American troops so they can't respond. Should be able to at least do some damage and keep the Americans on their toes, really. And we've got 18 American units trapped in Miami. That's a horrible place to be trapped. Unfortunately, the Americans are funneling more and more troops in there, so I need to reorganize and then hit them once my units have some orc. Overall, happy with the invasion, happy with the push in the south. Could have been better, but it's 1944 and I'm fighting the United States, so can't expect too much. Eventually, I will break them. I'm also building more and more and more mechanized. I'm getting my own resources under control, coring more land. This is gonna take a while, but I will come out on top. There's no question about that. I will win this. And with the convoy raiding happening, the submarines have strangled these 20 divisions in Miami, and we've mopped up, so we now control most of Florida. Something has given way. The Americans are cracking. If not the Americans, at least the Mexicans are, because we are going places this time. Yeah, front is moving. You know what? I'm just gonna collaborate the Mexicans. It's probably not gonna work as I expected, but 90 days, I really don't want to waste more manpower here. So if I can collaborate them, at least I might open up a chink in the armor. And we wait for until then, we wait. We just build up railways, plug in fresh supply hubs, and we grind the enemy further into dust. Oh, the Mexicans have fallen. All out assault now. The Americans are in disarray. Maybe we can make some magic happen. All right, full on assault. This is also probably ready for a breakout, but I'm not feeling it right now. I just don't know if one army group is going to be sufficient to really punch through. For that, I'm recruiting a couple more divisions here. This guy almost has organizer, so I can almost stick another army group on him. No, wait, that's another thing. Skilled staffer, so I need expert delegator. It does feel like we cracked the south. We have definitely cracked the south. We are moving forward. The Americans have lost 6.2 million men. Do they have reserves? Obviously, they still do, but not that many. We've already got them down to like 600,000 on extensive. They can get more, but I can kill them quickly. And the Americans are out of manpower. Now we attack. They will not be able to replenish their losses. I might be able to actually destroy divisions this way. They will go up another recruitment law, but if I can keep my aggression going, they will not be able to replenish those losses quickly enough for it to matter. So I just attack now. Well, we've reorganized, we've rebuilt. Time for another push. I think the Americans still haven't gone up recruitment law. No, so they're still out of manpower, and all these units are going to take casualties when we push. Actually, let's wait until all these new guys are in position. So that's 7 armies dedicated solely to the Americans. 6 here near the southern border, and then 1 army still stuck in Florida. I need to start pushing and pushing hard. These are losses the Americans cannot compensate for right now. Well, they've gone up to service by requirement, but it takes a while for that manpower to show up. And if I am fast enough, and if I can kill them before they can mobilize that manpower, I've got them. And eventually, not even the vaunted Americans can hold on against the might of Argentina. Drive these last units into the sea, and we're about to link up with Task Force Florida. Task Force Florida is once again free to partake in the actual world instead of the hellhole that is Florida. All right, let's keep attacking. And I think we can just roll the West now. It's over. They've lost 7, almost 8 million men. They are still recruiting, but not fast enough to replenish their losses. Oh, it's beautiful. The United States of America will capitulate, having taken 8.7 million casualties. And Japan has, of course, lost the plot entirely. They're not going to do anything properly here, so that was to be expected. The Soviet Union is still alive and still holding off the Axis. Barely. I think they're mostly being kept alive by the fact that there's just no supply for the Axis to keep pushing. Beautiful. So, let's take all of Mexico. Let's take all of Mexican ships. Let's take all of the Philippines while I'm here. No, let's not take the Philippines. Let's just puppet the Philippines. There we go. The Greater Argentine Confederation. We have completed pretty much our entire focus tree. We've conquered America. We can prepare for the US invasion, apparently, and we can attack at the source. Great. Wonderful. I think we've proven that Argentina is the greatest country in the world, not just in South America, and this has been an enjoyable campaign. I even liked the bit of naval aspect we had going on here, and it looks like we significantly hurt the US Navy because all they have left was these 160 ships, which isn't a lot considering what the Americans start with. These guys took a beating. So yeah, with that, I think we can conclude this campaign and another A to Z country off the list. I had a lot of fun with this. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well, and I hope you'll enjoy this next video as well. See ya.